Sometimes some crimes go whipping through the cracks, but these two gumshoes tucking up the slack. Da 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 da. When you need help, just call Chip and Dale Rescue Ranger. Hello and welcome. This is a movie that I've honestly been very hyped about. Chip and Dale is very special because not my favorite characters, but it's my dear mother's favorite characters, so she's a huge fan of it. I grew up with the show. I love the Rescue Rangers, so I was super hyped and waiting for this film. And it has arrived, and it was very interesting. This film is so out there. It's very far removed from what you would think of Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers. I haven't watched Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers in a while, and now it's back on my watch list, so that'll be really fun to be able to kind of compare how the film was compared to the show. This is one film that I'm completely curious and have been looking on the message boards trying to find other people to review it because I'm very curious and interested in what everyone thought about it because it was so out of the box, so different from the history of Chip and Dale, and completely out of left field, honestly. A lot of people thought with the trailer that they had theories about it, that it was going to be about Gadget getting into a cult and they would have to rescue Gadget because she wasn't in the trailer at all, basically. But that wasn't what happened at all, and in fact, spoiler alert, but Gadget wasn't even in this movie that much. Basic plot line of the show is that Chip and Dale are not Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers, they're Chip and Dale actors. They don't have the same voices as the high-pitched characters that they have, which of course everyone thought was very strange in the beginning, but they explain everything in this film. And the voices that are provided for Chip and Dale instead, I like my little action figures here. Andy Samberg is Dale and John Mulaney is Chip.
I always feel like this detective trying to solve the mystery of how I got home the night before. It's the case of the empty wallet and the for some reason bleeding knee.
Do with that information as you will. They're a comedy duo, both very big comedians, but they had a very unique humor aspect going into this film. And just like Who Framed Roger Rabbit, which is going to be referenced a lot, this is a film that takes place with both live action and animated characters living together. Thank you, handy IMDb, for my cast list as always, because anytime I do these reviews, I am familiar with the cast, but I never know who plays who, so I knew Will Arnett was in this, and for whatever reason, never paid attention that he was Sweet Pete, which makes so much sense, because even though Will Arnett has been in so many roles, so much stuff, I will always associate him with BoJack Horseman because he is BoJack. That is literally one of the most best created animated film series, whatnot.
The most important thing is you gotta give the people what they want, even if it kills you, even if it empties you out until there's nothing left to empty. No matter what happens, no matter how much it hurts, you don't stop dancing and you don't stop smiling and you give those people what they want.
And action!
I have not seen anything superior to BoJack Horseman, so Will Arnett is BoJack Horseman for me. And that actually, you know, it's kind of funny, it's not related at all, but that's another series that takes place where you have humans and animals living side by side together in Hollywood. BoJack Horseman canon with Chip and Dale? Does Chip and Dale live in the BoJack Horseman universe? Is that a canon thing? Can we make a canon?
I don't like that.
One of the other standout characters is Ellie, and that is played by Kiki Lane. She was really sweet. I really liked her. She did a great job. Everyone did a great job. But that's one of the only human characters compared to everyone doing the voices. It was really nice too because we did have Trace McNeil, who is Gadget in the original series, as well as Chip, I found out. She did the voice again for Gadget in this one, so she returned to the role, and Eric Bana, who also was Monterey Jack, and he returned again to do Monterey Jack Ramonte in this one too. So we do have the real voices of the Rescue Rangers back in this film, which is always very exciting. The original cast is here with Andy Samberg and John Mulaney. Because we have so many animated iconic characters in this film as well. We do have a lot of iconic voice actors. Most known is Jim Cummings, the legendary Jim Cummings. He's done so many Disney animated voices, as we all know, most notably Tigger Pooh, Darkwing Duck in this film, but he's done so many others as well throughout the history of Disney history. So, I mean, they definitely put so much heart into this film, and you can see it just through the cast alone, which is so important.
As far as my resume, you don't know me, but you know Tigger and Winnie the Pooh.
It is a huge cast list. I mean, there are literally hundreds of different characters that you see in the background, as well as like speaking roles that have like one or two. So many people to name, but that's a really fun thing about this. That's one thing I really loved. I literally went back and watched this film twice in one weekend. I watched it as soon as it came out on Friday, and then I watched it again Saturday night because there are so many Easter eggs, there are so many cameos, and I love seeing all of the characters that I was able to connect to and recognize. There are so many from everywhere. And this also brings up the canon. Is Pickle Rick now canon for Disney? Because there was a cosplayer that played Pickle Rick, and if that's in that universe and we're in the Disney canon, is Pickle Rick going to be in Disney? The world may never know.
I'm Pickle Rick!
Like I said before, in the trailer, there was a lot of theories about this movie going on a hunt to go find Gadget, that she's been kidnapped by this Russian cult, because that would be really meta, because it's a real thing. And lots of people have talked about it, and it is super interesting to me, and I would love to get like a documentary about it. And if they want to do a sequel, there's your idea right there. But instead, Monterey Jack is the one that gets kidnapped, and it literally is basically you take Zootopia, you take Who Framed Roger Rabbit, you put them together, and this is your movie. It's so much satire, but so much trying to be humor, and so many Easter egg cameos in there. The whole idea is that Sweet Pete is kidnapping all of these old, washed up, copyrighted characters and wants to bootleg them for his own Monterey gang, which is literally basically the same idea of Zootopia, where in Zootopia they're changing all of these predators into these vicious beings so they can frame them and make the prey look better. Like, it's this whole, like, you know, crime gang scene idea, frame job, crime, lots of crime, but it's interesting. And I think the plot itself isn't the strong point. It is the fact that, like I've said, there are so many characters in this, so many different fandoms and series, and so much cosplay in the background that I love. And that was what made this film so fun to watch, is being able to just like look behind and see who you find. There was a South Park character for a second. I'm really bad. I don't watch that much South Park. I want to watch more South Park, but I don't know its name, but I know it's South Park. That was there. There's Looney Tunes. Lots of non-Disney characters mixed in with this Disney universe, and it's fun. I loved it. It's kind of similar to Wreck-It Ralph, where Wreck-It Ralph breaks the internet, and you had all this meta humor, all of these Easter eggs that you could see and look to find in reality. It's the same idea, where it's just so much fun to watch. You can rewatch it so many times and still find new things and really pay attention to different things in the background. So that was awesome, and I really enjoyed that, and I wish this was a series and that we could have more. But if it was a series and they continued on this route and basically had this whole mega meta universe, it'd be very expensive to produce. So I know I can't count on that, but it'd be fun. They go into the backstory of how Chip and Dale meet, and they meet when they're in 3rd grade. Weren't they brothers? Like, that was my whole thing. The first couple seconds of watching this, I'm like, weren't they brothers? And like, their whole backstory was that they were brothers to each other and they grew up together because they're actual brothers from birth. So that was a little bit strange to me, and definitely threw me off the loop, but ignoring that plot point, it's a lot of fun. I know I've seen that it's had a lot of high ratings. I've been looking on Twitter, I've been reading up and watching other reviews, like I said, and everyone's been loving this film, which is really awesome. And like I said, it's so different. It definitely doesn't match up to the canon of Chip 'n Dale that we used to know, but it's very, very unique, while still being familiar, because like I said, it's a mixture of Zootopia and Who Framed Roger Rabbit, but I love those films, so it's good. There are points in this plot that it's very predictable, but I think they do it on purpose. There are jokes about this plot that's very predictable, and they basically talk about in the film how on the nose they can get, and that's part of the charm. I also think it's very interesting too that the villain they picked is Peter Pan, which kind of works because in other canon series, aka Once Upon a Time, Peter Pan was the villain in that. I honestly loved Peter Pan as a villain in Once Upon a Time, just saying. Here, he was just like this like old grumpy old man. Whereas in Once Upon a Time he was like actual villain. But of course this is supposed to be a lot more humorous and not taking itself serious. And I love how at the end they basically turn him into Hannibal Lecter. There are so many references and it makes me so happy being the movie nerd that I am. The one thing I would say though is Peter Pan as a villain in this film isn't the strong point. I understand the motive. They have a lot of fun with it. And then you have like one of the sidekicks, which is like Seth Rogen's character, and he's one of the Uncanny Valley characters, which also, can we please turn this into a series? And can we please get an entire episode dedicated to the different animation styles and them dedicating their time with each of the lands they go into? Because you have Main Street, which is apparently this whole like facade to the really, really hardcore dangerous cartoons, and they put on this whole facade to be like, we're all clean cut and wholesome. Meanwhile, they're murdering people in the backyard. Like, seriously, that would make such a great show. And then as well as Uncanny Valley. The Uncanny Valley. It's gold. It's perfect. Please, more. I would love that. I know it's not gonna happen, but oh, I wish. Because that would be gold. That's the stuff. That makes it a lot more fun of the film. If we were to strip it down and just study the plot of it, the plot I don't think is the strongest. But it's the fact that they were able to put all this meta humor into it, put all these characters into it, and just have a lot of fun and put a lot of heart into it. And it's definitely a nostalgia trip. They reference show a lot in a different way. And they make it like, oh yeah, we enjoyed working on this show. That was all fiction, but now we're reality. We're 80s comedians who were able to be actors.
That was crazy! Somebody called Guinness Book! This is incredible! Oh, we lost it.
I think this would be great to reboot the Disney Afternoon. I know there's nothing but remakes and reboots anymore, but obviously the Disney Afternoon and Chip 'n Dale Rescue Rangers, as well as like Tailspin, Darkwing Duck, all of those are gold shows. There's a reason they're all still here and around and we can watch them and love them, because they were so well done for their time. They definitely stand the test of time. Anything that I can get Chip 'n Dale Rescue Rangers is iconic. I have my little action figures here. They're different. So this one was one of the Funko Pups that I got in a blind box. And then I was able to just get this one as a little action figure. So they're different sizes. But they still are a team. They work together. I'm really excited to see what Disney can do. I'm really excited to see if they expand on these universes and create more films and series like this one. It's going to be a really fun time. I love meta humor. I love it so much. So please. I know it's kind of all over the place with this. This is literally just like a great job. Not a perfect film, but a really fun film. And I hope they do more with it, because it's a good time. Like I said, watched it twice in a weekend. I'm gonna go put the theme song on repeat and then also dive in and binge watch the original series again. Please let me know what you guys think below because I would love to see your thoughts. And I'm gonna continue to research what other people think for the time being while it's still hot commodity. But until then, I hope you guys have a magical day and I will see you real soon.